Welcome to this talk. I'm Dagan and I'm presenting our paper titled Synergistic Social Technology, Designing Systems with Needs that Encourage and Support Social Interaction. I'm presenting this work on behalf of myself and Katherine Isbister. We are from the Social Emotional Technology Lab at the University of California, Santa Cruz. We believe that the technology we create is redefining our everyday interactions, and we are passionate about people and how technology mediates our relationships. In our work, we're interested in designing, researching technology to inspire others to create great experiences for people to support them when they relate to those around them. So we propose that synergistic social technology is a strong concept for interaction design. This concept describes systems in which technology is designed with its own need for interaction, and as a result of responding to these needs, people who use the system may benefit from social interaction with others who use the system too. This concept emerged through the design, prototyping, and study of the Robo-Shoe-Flies, the design that you see in the background image here, that is worn on people's shoes. Strong concepts are considered intermediate-level knowledge contributions in research through design. Strong concepts are design elements abstracted beyond particular instances which have the potential to be appropriated by designers and researchers to extend their repertoire and enable new particulars instantiations. In the process of designing, developing, and studying the Robo-Shoe-Flies, which is a social wearable prototype, we had the insight that we could position the technology as in need of care, not just care at an individual level, but at a collective level across devices and multiple users, and that this care could in turn help foster connection and community among people who engage with the technology. And this is why we developed the synergistic social technology as a strong concept. We hope it will inspire those in interaction design or human-computer interaction communities who focus on the design and development of technology that is intended to support social interaction, particularly in the sense of encouraging collective, mutually beneficial action. The synergistic social technology concept suggests that when technologies have their own needs for interaction, it could motivate people to engage with the technology. And it could also, and perhaps more importantly, engage people to interact with others, synchronously and collaboratively. And then in the process of the technology getting its needs met, the people who use the system would benefit from social interaction. And this is what we say synergistic social quality. The concept has 5 core principles. First, the technological systems are designed with needs. When we say needs here, we don't necessarily mean the technology's technical requirements, like needing to charge it with electrical power. The idea here is that the needs have an animistic sense. We mean that the designers of the systems would craft a framing story for the technology to assign it needs. Then the needs that are crafted in the framing story would encourage people to interact with the technology because interacting with it includes taking part in activities that are compelling and essential for them as humans. For example, the need of the system could involve that the person who uses it would need to take breaks from sitting after many long hours in front of their screen. So when people fulfill the system's needs, they would also experience positive social implications. For example, they would need to collaborate with other people to fulfill the system's needs. The interactions are designed to work beyond the individual level of use. They are designed to foster a sense of community. And finally, synergies are established based on the real needs of people and the needs of the system, as it was designed in this framing story. As mentioned earlier, the concept emerged during our research through design process of the Robo-Shoe-Flies. Our design-focused observations when we were doing this work inspired this concept. The Robo-Shoe-Flies are social wearables with a backstory that frames them as an ecosystem of on-body companions who need movement and social interaction with other creatures of their species every once in a while. With this design, we wanted to explore ways to encourage people to socialize with co-located others. We were also looking for possible motivations for engagement in positive activities that could facilitate some aspects of well-being. People wear the Robo-Shoe-Flies on their shoes, and we designed them to be used in an office-like setting, where people usually spend time sitting in front of a computer. Whenever the Robo-Shoe-Flies needs to be cared for, they provide sound and visual feedback to signals to their wearer that they need interaction. When wearers receive this feedback, they should find another person who also wears a creature and let the two creatures interact. The interaction happens when the two people wearing the creatures coordinate their movements together. They face the creatures towards one another and shake their feet. We theorize that having such an external trigger to care for the creatures might result in encouraging wearers to socialize. We studied the design with 13 participants in 3 small groups, and all participants wore the design for a couple of hours. We interviewed them and asked them to fill out an anonymous questionnaire. Then we thematically synthesized our results under 4 design dimensions: external reasons to socialize, mixed control and shared experience, being playful together, beyond the self, which means working towards a shared low-stake goal. The design dimensions led us to articulate local design implications related to the design of the Robo-Shoe-Flies. These implications mean that it could be beneficial to create external reasons to socialize. And when people need each other to engage with the system, the interaction design includes some sort of mixed control over it. And then when in turn it facilitates people having a social shared experience. It could also be good to design interactions that encourage people to practice empathy and care. And using animism as an approach can help implement these design implications. I took this diagram from our paper. It shows how we came to define the synergistic social technology from the design work of the Robo-Shoe-Flies and how it relates to the concept's core principles. The Robo-Shoe-Flies design prototype had a fictional backstory of creatures who dwell on people's feet and need to interact with other creatures of their species by moving together. The backstory of creatures with needs enabled us to design interactions around a simulated inner life that suggested compelling and essential interactions. It created synergies between the system's needs and what we presumed was people's needs to engage in social interaction. The backstory created an external reason for the wearer to engage with it and with other wearers, and these needs provided an external reason for wearers to socialize, as the system suggested wearers work together towards a shared goal. And they had mixed control, which also facilitated this shared experience. Our work includes design dimensions, design implications, the core principles of the synergistic social technology concept, and its limitations. In the paper, you can also learn more about related theoretical constructs and other design instances that relate to the concept. The notion of synergistic social technology could be a piece of the puzzle for situations that require designing systematic changes. For example, in broader societal issues such as designing systems that create collective accountability or even feelings of collective connectedness. Technology designs aiming to solve wicked problems such as climate change or economic inequality could benefit from thinking at this collective level in design. And there are other areas that may benefit from considering this concept, like social emotional learning in children and adults. We hope you found this concept inspiring, and we encourage you to read the paper to learn more about it, its development, and limitations. We really appreciate your attention, and thank you for listening. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to get in touch if you have any questions about this work. Thank you.